Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So let's begin with side practice 1.1f. So the question will be, determine the roots of each of the following quadratic equation using the factorization method. So factorize this, okay, and then find the root. We want to find the value of x. So what is factorization? Is to break it up, okay, into two parts. Okay, so we write here x squared and then negative 10 here and negative 3x there, and then you find what times what, you get x squared. Definitely there is one chance only, x times x. And what is negative 10? It could be 10 times negative 1, negative 1 times 10, could be 5 times 2, 5 times negative 2, or negative 5 times 2. Okay, so in this case, because we want the final answer after you multiply become negative 3x, so I will write down here 5 and 2. How do I know that? 5 minus 2 will be 3, or 2 minus 5 will be negative 3. But 10 and 1, 10 minus 1 will be 9, 10 plus 1 will be 11. So you want to have this number. Okay, so now I multiply 5 and 2, x and 5, I get 5x. So I did not write down negative yet. X times 2 will be 2x. But when I add, it has to be negative 3. So I put negative 5 there. So here will be x times negative 5, which is negative 5. And negative 5 plus 2 will be negative 3. So the factorization is this. Write it down in the bracket. So x plus 2 equal to 0. So we break up into two parts and then you take part by part. So x minus 5 equal to 0. So x equals to 5. The other will be x plus 2 equal to 0. So x is negative 2. Similarly, with b, x squared minus 10x plus 16, we can use calculator also. Alright, so I'm going to use calculator for question number 1. Okay, so how to use calculator? That is, you have to rewrite this as x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals to 0. And then using calculator means that you just write down two brackets here and then write down the x1 and x2, the first one and the second one. So we go to the function, quadratic function, by pressing mode until you get EQN. Then press 1, you will get unknown there. Then you write the right button, press the right button, you get degree. Then you press 2. That is how you go to the quadratic function. So, and then they ask you for A. So what is A? A is the coefficient of x squared. So A equals to 1. So 1x squared. B is negative 3 and C is negative 10. So then you insert the values. So A equals to 1, B equals to negative 3, and C is negative 10. Then you press equals, you get the first one is 5 and the second one is negative 2. You write down 5 and negative 2, and then as you can see that if the value is positive, you write down the bracket x minus 5, and then this is negative, then inside the bracket it would be x plus 2. Okay? And from now on, we are going to just use calculator, easier and faster. Alright, so just write down two brackets equal to 0 and the first x, the second x. The first x here, okay, and so you have to understand what is A and B and C. 1x squared, B will be negative 10x, and C will be the number only, which is 16. So B is negative 10. So come up to, okay, say A is still there. A is 1. B is different from the first one. So you press negative 10 and press equal. And C will be 16 and equals The first value is 8, the second value is 2. 8 and 2, it should be x minus 8, x minus 2. Okay? Similarly, with C, x1, the first x and the second x, and then we just insert the values. A is 3 now, 3x squared, and B is negative 5, and C is 2. So you get the first value, x is 1, and the other is 0.66. You just press Shift ABC, then you get 2 over 3. 1 and 2 over 3. So the factorization will be x minus 1. So if value is fraction, so you have to multiply first. You get 3x equals to 2. So inside the bracket, it should be 3x minus 2. Okay, let's continue with question D. In this case, in case that you can divide all this by 2, you should simplify that. Okay, so x squared plus 4x minus 12 equals to 0. Okay, so because you can divide all this by 2, and then write down the factorization, and the first x will be just write down like that. So insert the value. In this case, a is 1, a is 1, b is 4, c is negative 12. Then the first value will be 2, the other is negative 6. 2 and negative 6, so here will be x minus 2, x plus 6 equals to 0. And here you cannot divide by any number, any common number, so you just write x, the first x and the second x, then insert the value. A is 2, b is 3, c is negative 9. So the first value will be 1.5, and then you should change that to fraction form by pressing Shift ABC. Then you get, if you press Shift ABC, you should get 3 over 2. So the first value is 3 over 2, and the second value is negative 3. Okay, and the factorization is 2x minus 3. And here will be x plus 3. Going to question F, just press calculator. That is, A is 4, B is negative 3, and C is negative 10. So the first value will be 2, the other is negative 1.25. So x equals to 2, is it? And then here you press Shift ABC, then you will get negative 5 over 4. The first, the factorization should come before it. Okay, right. So here will be x minus 2, and here will be 4x plus 5. Okay, question G, negative 3x squared minus x plus 14. It means A is negative 3, B is negative 1, and C is 14. Then it's a fraction form. Shift ABC, you will get negative 7. So x is negative 7 over 3, and the other is x equal to 2. If you notice, I just put some space here for the factorization. Here will be 3x plus 7. Here will be x minus 2 equals to 0. Don't forget about equal to 0. For h, I do not need calculator. I just factorize x from both of these. So I have x and x minus 5 equal to 0. Take out x from both of these. So what is left is here. So the first value is x equal to 0. and the second one is x minus 5 equal to 0. So x is 5. So the two values of x are 0 and 5. Similarly with this, if you understand the concept of x squared minus y squared is x plus y and x minus y, then you immediately know that this is x squared minus 2 squared equal to 0. Okay, on the condition that this value is a perfect square. Okay, perfect square is example is 4, 9, 16, 25 and so on. So this one will be x plus 2 and x minus 2 equal to 0. So x plus 2 equal to 0, x is negative 2, x minus 2 equal to 0, x is 2. Okay, but then if you use calculator, you will still get the same thing on the condition that you press calculator, A is 1 and B, there is no B, means that the value of B is 0. And the value of C is negative 4. So you get the first value is 2, the other value is negative 2. Okay? Alright, that's all for question number 1. Okay, so let me introduce you how to solve this equation. So let's start with number 2a. We do not start with, I send you number 2a, right? So how to solve this m plus 2 equals 3. So what we'll do, make it into general form. Whether you are using factorization or using completing the square or formula, you still have to do to make it into general form. So general form is what? Expand the bracket, you get m squared plus 2m, then bring here minus 3 equals 0. So when you have equal to 0, this is what we call general form. Alright, so in order to make it, okay, first this one is just as an example for you to how to we get the bracket, the factorization. Okay, so you have to think a number. In this case, because m squared would be m times m, and negative 3 you should write here, 2m you should write here. What is the number that multiply you get negative 3? It should be 1 and 3. But one of them must be negative. So I'll put negative here. Why? Because of, I know that I want this part on the other side is 2m. So when I multiply m times negative 1, so negative m. M times 3m will be 3m. When you add, you get 2m. Alright, so what is inside bracket here is m minus 1, m plus 3. That if there is no negative, means plus. So you should write here m minus 1, m plus 3. Alright, so after that, you take it out, m minus 1, you equal to the 0. So now it becomes a linear equation. M equals 1. So that is one value. The other m plus 3 equals 0. So m equals negative 3. That is the other value. For your info, for the quadratic equation, we have 3 types. One is 2 different roots. Okay. Another is we have 2 equal roots, mean 1 and 1. Or another, we do not have root for that. Okay. So it could be like that. So do we have to do this like this all the time? No. Okay, because I want to make it easy for you. Okay, so let's try to do B without using this. Okay, so we have 3p 11 minus 2p. Oh, okay, I think I should show you without using this kind of factorization. Okay, so after you have you have this into general form, m squared plus 2m minus 3 equal to 0. Okay, so okay, this is the practical aspect. After you make it into general form, you put 2 bracket equal to 0. Then you write down m equals. Take out your calculator now. Do you know how to use factorization from calculator?
Yes.
Okay, so you just press mode, and then eqn will be 1, and then from unknown you press the button, then change to degree, then you press 2, okay, then they come up with A. A is the coefficient of m squared, so A will be 1. B will be 2. C will be -3. So you still get 1 or -3. Then how to put inside bracket? If this is positive, -1, just like this one. If this is negative, okay, so maybe you should try to do B.
Okay.
Okay, you expand the bracket. What did you get?
33p.
Okay.
Minus 6p square.
Okay.
Minus 15.
Okay, did you press calculator from here? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so what is A?
0.77.
No. A, B, C. That you...
33.
Oh, no. How do you know A, B, C is not depending on the arrangement here? No.
Oh.
So A will be -6, B will be 33, and C will be -15. Then you put 2 brackets equal to 0, write down P is 1. So sometimes these are divisible by 3. So sometimes you divide by 3, you get 11p minus 2p squared minus 5 equal to 0. Okay, so even though whatever you kind of arrange, but still to inform the calculator, A is always the coefficient of the algebra with x square. Okay, so do you get new answer now? A is -2, B is 11, and C is -5. You get okay. If you get 0.5, you should press Shift A, B, C. Then you change to 1/2, and the other value is 5. So how do you factorize for 1/2? Multiply this first, so you get 2p equals 1. Then move 1, so write down here 2p minus 1. But whole number is z for p minus 5. And we are at question C. 1/2 y squared equals to 12 minus y. Now we have quadratic equation in a fraction form. The easier way, whenever you see a fraction, you eliminate the fraction. So how to eliminate fraction is by multiplying with denominator. So here you multiply by 2, so you can cut 2 and 2, but make sure that you multiply both of the term here with 2 on the right side. Okay, so you will get y squared equals 2 times 12 will be 24. 2 times y will be -2y here, and then you have to change it into general form, means you have moved it to one side. Which side? Is it left or right? It's okay, both, but then in this case I will move everything to the left side. So plus 2y, then minus 24 equals 0. Okay, then write down A equals to 1, B is 2, and C is negative 24. So the value or the put the bracket equals to 0. So we have first y and the second y, and this y will get from calculator. That is A is 1, B is 2, and C is negative 24. So you get the first y is 4, the other y is negative 6. 4 and negative 6. So the factorization will be y minus 4 and y plus 6 equals to 0. Okay, let's continue with question D. A plus 5 over A equals 6. So first, in case that you are seeing fraction, eliminate the fraction. It will make it easier for you. So in order to eliminate fraction, you have to multiply here with A, but then every term you multiply with A, including on this side. Okay, so multiply by A. So you cut here, and then your answer should be A squared plus 5 equals 6A. Next, make it into general form. So it become A squared minus 6A plus 5 equals 0. So you should arrange them A, B, and C. Not this A, but the coefficient of A squared will be A, coefficient of A will be B, C will be the number. Okay? And then just put put your bracket and write down the two values for A and get the value from calculator using the factorization method. Mod until you can see EQN, press 1, and then from unknown press the right button, you get degree, then press 2, then the value of A here, this A is different from this A. A is 1, B is negative 6, C is 5. Okay, then press A equals to 1, B is negative 6, C is 5. Then you get the first value, which is written as X here, but the value is actually for A is 5, the other one is 1. Okay, and as I have shown you, if the value of A is positive, it should be A minus 5 and A minus 1 in the bracket. Next, looks like all these questions are similar. You multiply by the number as denominator. In this case, you multiply by K. Multiply by K, multiply by K. Then you simplify, you will get 8 equals 2K plus K squared. So, in order to solve this, arrange it in such an order that we have a general form. So, I will move it to the other side, and I will arrange the K squared first, and then plus 2K. Why is it not become negative? Because I do not move it, I just rearrange the position. And then minus 8, because 8 coming from the left side. So as usual, just put 2 bracket equal to 0. So the first value and the second value, and we get the value. Okay, and I'm using the function just now we have. Okay, before that, I should write down A equals to 1, B equals to 2, and C equals negative 8. So then just put in the value that A is 1. Since the previous value is 1 also, so I have A equals to 1, I just press equal. And then now the B is different from the first question. I write down 2, then press equal, and then similarly, this is different value, so just put negative 8, then press equal, then you get the first value, which is written as X, but this is actually K, is 2, and the other one is negative 4. So K minus 2, K plus 4. Let's go to the question F. You multiply by H here to eliminate the fraction. You multiply by H here and multiply by H there. Okay, then you will know, you cut this number and the equation become 2h squared plus 6 equals 7h. And make it into general form, you rearrange also 2h squared minus 7h plus 6 equals 0. Okay, you move 7h, put it in the middle because it's B. Okay, and then write down the value of A, which is 2, B is negative 7, and C equal to 6. Put two bracket, equal to 0, and write down H, the first H and the second H. And get the value from the calculator. A is 2, press 2. B is negative 7, press negative 7. And C is 6. Equals to, the first value of H will be 2. The second value, press equals, you get 1.5. But for the sake of factorization, you just put it into improper fraction by using shift ABC. You will get 3 over 2. And the value here will be H minus 2. But if this is a fraction, you multiply first, you get 2H equals 3. And the move 3, it becomes 2H minus 3. Okay, we continue with H, where the question is solve the equation H minus 2 times H minus 1 equals 12. So first we have to multiply, expanding the bracket. You multiply the first number, H with another H. You multiply this with the second number on the other side. And then the second number here, on the first bracket, multiplied by the first number on the right side. Similarly with this. Okay. There might be some different arrangement, but it's okay. Okay, as long as you multiply each one in the first bracket with the second bracket. So H times H will be H squared. H times negative 1 will be negative H. Negative 2 times H will be negative 2H. And then negative 2 times negative 1 will be positive 2 equals 12. So then I'll make it into general form. I will simplify that first. It means H squared and then negative H. Negative 2 means you press calculator negative 1, negative 2. You will get negative 3. And then plus 2 minus 12. Okay. And then you have to simplify further. That is 2 minus 12 will be negative 10 equals to 0. And then the A will be 1, B is negative 3, C is negative 10. Put two bracket, equals 0. And then you should have two values of H. And what are those two values? Just use calculator. Then asking for A will be 1. B is negative 3, C is negative 10. So the first value will be 5, the second value is negative 2. 5 and negative 2, if the whole value is a whole number, so H minus 5 and H plus 2. Then look at the question H. We have 2x minus 1 squared. So here we have to write down 2x minus 1 twice. That is what square means. Okay, then we multiply just like this one. 2x times 2x, you get 4x squared. 2x times negative 1 will be negative 2x. Negative 1 times 2x will be negative 2x. Then negative 1 times negative 1 will be plus 1 equals to 3x minus 2. Make it into general form. I will write down everything on the left side. Minus 2x, minus 2x, minus 3x. I brought negative 3x to the other side, become negative 3. And then plus 1 plus 2 equal to 0. 1 is here. and then negative 2, you move to the side, become positive 2. Now you simplify. So this is 4x squared, and then you can use calculator, negative 2, negative 2, negative 3. So it will give you negative 7. And then plus 3 equals to 0. We need to note that A is 4 here, B is negative 7, and C is 3. So then put to bracket, equal to 0. So you have A and, oh no, not A but X. Okay, the first X and the second X. So use calculator to get that. That is, you go to A, asking for A, is the value is 4, B is negative 7, and C is 3. Then you get the value x1 equals to 1, and x2 equals to 0.75. So you just press shift ABC to change it to 3 over 4. So the first value will be, or the first factorization will be x minus 1, and here will be 4x minus 3. And the last question from number 2 is r plus 1 times r plus 9 equals to 16r. So we should multiply that, r times r, so r squared, r times 9 plus 9r. 1 times r will be 1r, which is r, and then 1 times 9 will be 9, equals to 16r. Then I'll bring everything to the left side, combining r squared. Okay, r squared, there is no coefficient, we'll add together with it. So 9r plus r minus 16r. Those with r, you combine together. Then plus 9 equals to 0. So here will be r squared. 9 plus 1 will be 10. 10 minus 16 will be negative 6. R plus 9 equals to 0. So the A here will be 1. B is negative 6. C is 9. Put to bracket here. Equal to 0. And you get the first R and the second R. And find the values of R. A here is 1, B is negative 6, and C is 9. Then you get only one value, which is 3. Okay, the first one is 3, the second one is also 3. Okay, so it will be R minus 3 and R minus 3. Okay, so whenever you see only one value, they are actually two equal values. Okay. And maybe you should write r minus 3 squared equal to 0. So r is 3. Okay, that's all for self practice 1.1F.